Today in the battle arena, we got Seed Sentry taking on the Fallen One, or as I like to call him, Worthy Silver Surfer. Now, Sentry and Surfer are already powerful heroes, but these guys, oh my god, oh my god, talk about an upgrade. I mean, they are just something else altogether. So without further ado, let's get started.
Hear the music.
I could do this all day.
So the first one to enter the arena is Seed Sentry. After ingesting an experimental super soldier formula, the lowly Robert Reynolds became the Sentry, one of the first and mightiest superheroes. He was trapped in a constant battle with his dark side known as the Void. After his membership with the Avengers, he joined Norman Osborn's Dark Avengers and died after single-handedly destroying Asgard. More recently, the Sentry was resurrected by the Apocalypse Twins as one of the Horsemen of Death. So Sentry was brought back to life by the Apocalypse Twins, using both the Life Seed and the Death Seed, in order to serve alongside Banshee, Grim Reaper, and Daken as their Horsemen of Death. Once resurrected, Sentry's madness slowly increased, and he started to consider himself as the heir of Apocalypse. As Death Seed, Sentry's strength greatly increased. He was already strong enough to battle against and defeat World War Hulk and rip Ares in half, but now he's strong enough to punch Thor from planet to planet and knock him out with essentially no effort on his part. He's also strong enough to move Celestials all by himself. Sentry is also able to move many times faster than the speed of light, and when he tackled Thor, they moved so fast that Sentry's velocity actually bended space and time and disoriented Thor because his body wasn't made to move so fast. Now, probably the greatest asset that Sentry has in this fight, and the thing that was increased the most by the Death Seed, was his durability. Not only can Sentry take attacks from Thor or magical lightning and not even be phased at all, but he's also got a remarkably fast healing factor. Like in the fight, Thor was trying to kill him, and he smashed Sentry's head of Mjolnir. Completely smashed it. Like where Mjolnir went through Sentry's head. And yet, he was right back up and in the fight in the very next panel in the comic. He healed that quickly. I mean, Sentry even pulled back his face and showed off his brain, essentially just to prove that he could do it. But it's not just physical powers. The Death Seed process also amplified Sentry's other, more versatile powers. He's able to shoot some form of dark energy from his mind that took down Wasp, and even launch energy beams from his eyes powerful enough to knock out Thor. Sentry's also able to telepathically communicate with others, use telekinesis to throw cars and stop Mjolnir inches from his face, and even create stone golems and their life forms to fight for him. So that's Death Seed Sentry. But then in the other corner, we got Worthy Silver Surfer. Norrad of Zenla was the mighty herald of Galactus, the devourer of worlds. In this timeline, Surfer and Galactus were both hunted by Thanos, and Galactus actually ended up being killed by the Mad Titan. Silver Surfer then spent a millennia becoming worthy of Mjolnir, and in the process became imbued with the black matter, which is known as the binding halo by which galaxies are made solvent, and became known as the Fallen One. So, what are Surfer's powers? Well, here's the thing. This is essentially the same Silver Surfer as we know. Not necessarily a different universe, just a different timeline. So, with that being said, no one is strong enough to casually restrain a charging Hulk, just one hand. And he's been able to battle against two versions of Thanos at the same time, even launching Thanos through a tower made up of the bones of Celestials. Then he also has superhuman durability, being able to casually surf supernovas and fly through black holes. But he's also taken multiple punches from a charging Hulk, and Hulk broke his hand on Surfer's face, with Silver Surfer not even flinching. However, one of Surfer's greatest assets is his speed, as he can fly and maneuver on his board at unimaginable speeds, and he's even shown the ability to enter the time stream under his own speed. His skin is designed to absorb different kinds of energies, and is constantly being charged by nearby stars and stars from different galaxies. Then Surfer can then tap into the cosmic energy stored in his body and unleash energy beams powerful enough to destroy a planet, or create beams down to the subatomic level. He can also manipulate energy to create force fields and shields, control gravity, and solidify energy around an opponent in order to imprison them. Then Silver Surfer can also rearrange matter in order to create other objects, and he can also transmute or change the state of matter. He's a powerful telepath and is able to read people's minds, and he's shown a great resistance to powerful telepaths in the past, even if they might be technically more powerful than him. And Surfer has the ability of telekinesis, so he can move things with his mind, but he usually just uses this to move his surfboard. Speaking of his surfboard, it is almost indestructible and can be used as both a weapon and a shield. Then, if the board is damaged, Surfer can simply repair it, or even just create a new one. It's even able to trap and imprison opponents, although it only holds them for a short while. And then with Mjolnir, well, Surfer's got even more powers, as if he didn't have enough to begin with. Now, besides the obvious fact that the hammer can be used to hit stuff and even destroy mountains and planets, Mjolnir actually has a lot of abilities in itself. Surfer can control the weather, unleashing lightning bolts powerful enough to injure Thanos. He's also able to manipulate matter on a vast scale, and has the ability to transmute elements. He's able to turn intangible and invisible, and Mjolnir is also able to create nearly impenetrable force fields. End of the day, King Thanos killed Watchers and Celestials, but yet Silver Surfer was the only one that he was actually scared of. I think that alone sums all this up. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, Silver Surfer vs. Sentry is already an interesting and incredibly difficult fight as is. Both Death Seed Sentry versus Worthy Silver Surfer, well, these two heroes received a massive, massive upgrade. It's like cranking the dial up to 11. Hell, it's like cranking the dial up to 1,000. I mean, before, Sentry was killed by Thor, but when he came back as Death Seed Sentry, he was kicking Thor's ass up and down the street. And as Silver Surfer, well, he's been regularly beaten by Thanos. But then he became the Fallen One and became worthy of Mjolnir. He was able to fight against two powerful versions of Thanos at once. Yeah, I'd say these guys got a nice power boost. But which one is more powerful? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Now, first question, which of these guys is stronger? Well, Sentry is kinda ridiculously strong, as even just a normal Sentry is strong enough to go toe-to-toe with World War Hulk, casually take down Terrax, one of Galactus' heralds, and throw She-Hulk into New Jersey just one hand. But as Death Seed Sentry, well, he's no longer holding back and is strong enough to effortlessly overpower Thor, and the impacts of his punches actually felt all over the entire planet. And then there was Exitar the Exterminator, a celestial who was actually larger than the Earth itself. In fact, he was actually so large that he was going to just step on the Earth in order to destroy it. So Rogue comes around and absorbs the powers of pretty much every hero on Earth, including guys like Hulk, Hyperion, and Wonder Man, to the point where she ended up with the powers over 100 heroes, and she still failed to stop Exitar. But then Death Seed Sentry comes in and lifts up Exitar, and actually takes his body and flies into space. That's some impressive strength. However, Silver Surfer is real strong as well. He's busted out of a planet that was created by Michael Korvac at our nearby asteroids, punched someone from the equator to the polar ice caps, and he's actually busted through several vibranium walls, which should have theoretically been impossible. But worthy Silver Surfer doesn't just have the power cosmic, but he's also enhanced by dark matter, which is the matter that makes up the universe, and he's got Mjolnir on his side. With all this power, he casually killed Cosmic Ghost Rider with just one strike. And if that doesn't sound that impressive, let's just break down what that actually means. Cosmic Ghost Rider is a version of Frank Castle, who became both Ghost Rider and a Herald of Galactus. He's been able to effortlessly take blasts from Galactus, easily took on all of Earth's mightiest heroes, and King Thanos actually said he was unable to beat Cosmic Ghost Rider. Yet Surfer killed him just one blow from Mjolnir. And he went on to effortlessly restrain a rampaging Hulk just one hand, and famously was able to battle against King Thanos and God Quarry Thanos at the same time, sending them flying through a tower made up of the bones of dead Celestials. So what about durability? Well, Death Seed Sentry has shown some pretty impressive durability, and during Thor's lightning, and when Thor tackled him, Sentry got back up without a scratch. However, with that being said, Death Seed Sentry isn't quite as durable as you might imagine. I mean, Thor completely destroyed his head with a blow from Mjolnir. Just destroyed his head. On the other hand, when an older, so presumably stronger, version of the Hulk just unloaded on Silver Surfer, Surfer didn't even flinch and kept on talking to Bruce throughout it. Hulk actually ended up breaking his hand just by punching Surfer. That's how durable this version of the Silver Surfer is, and I'd say he's more durable than Death Seed Sentry, just in terms of pure durability. However, what keeps Sentry in this fight has got to be his incredible and pretty much instantaneous healing factor. I mean, when Thor destroyed his head, Death Seed Sentry regrew it instantly and kept on fighting. I mean, Sentry ripped open his own head just to prove that he could do it. That's an insane healing factor, and a whole lot faster than even Wolverine or Deadpool's healing factor. On top of that, Sentry is effectively immortal. Morgan Le Fay destroyed him, erased him from all existence. But after a little while, Sentry just simply reformed out of nothing. Molecule Man destroyed him, but Sentry came back. And when Sentry wanted to die and Thor tossed him into the sun, well, Sentry actually spent that time just regenerating from a single atom over and over again. But Surfer is actually able to do pretty much the same thing if he wants to. He's been reduced into tiny fragments, but regenerated as a whole body, purposely liquefied his body and regenerated it as well. And Surfer can actually exist without a body, such as existing as the air or as snow, and simply reform himself at will. So, as of right now, they're looking incredibly equal. And then one last thing, speed. So, Sentry was regularly able to fly faster than the speed of light as a normal hero, pretty much instantly flying from the Earth to the Sun or Earth to Saturn, a trip that would have taken light 8 minutes and 80 minutes, respectively. Then, being amped with the Death Seed, Sentry is fast enough to actually bend space and time itself with its velocity, hurtling forward at many times the speed of light. In fact, Sentry was flying so fast that the speed was disorienting Thor, because even as a god, Thor's body wasn't able to move that fast. And Thor is able to fly at faster than the speed of light with Mjolnir. But Silver Surfer isn't like Thor, and he's a whole lot faster than the God of Thunder. In fact, he's so fast that he's able to fly 500 light years in just seconds, with the Milky Way galaxy being 100,000 light years across. For reference, he's able to fly halfway across the universe in seconds, and Surfer is able to bend and warp space-time with his speed as well. And it's not just traveling speed, but he's actually able to think and process information at that speed as well. He's able to understand enough information for a millennium, just a millisecond, and destroy energy shackles in a nanosecond. So both of these guys have a crazy level of speed. And in fact, they appear to be roughly equal in strength, durability, and speed. But it's not just a physical fight. Mostly because both Sentry and Silver Surfer have about every single power in the book. Seed Sentry has knocked out Thor with his eye blasts. He's injured the Wasp by unleashing dark energy, and he was able to use his telekinesis to stop Mjolnir to a dead halt, just inches from his face. Then as Sentry, he's able to draw energy from everywhere around him, unleashing energy capable of destroying moons and planets, and also manipulate energy. He's one of the most powerful telepaths on the planet, erasing the memory of him from every mind on the planet, both human and animal, and even erased the memories from the Inhumans on the moon. He's resisted Doctor Strange's mind magic, and it actually took Professor X and Emma Frost's combined telepathic power just to invade his mind. And last but not least, he's got matter manipulation. Sentry has said in the past that everything he does is based upon molecular manipulation, and he's used his power to beat Molecule Man via molecular manipulation, taking out Owen Reese at his own game. And Seed Sentry hasn't neglected this power either, as he used his matter manipulation to create gigantic sand golems, and actually gave them life in order to fight for him. But the problem for Sentry is, well, Silver Surfer has a lot of the same powers. He's got telekinesis, which he's used to deconstruct weapons, and he's even sent Millennius flying to the core of a planet. He's able to release energy blast powerful enough to destroy a planet, and reduce one of Thanos' avatars to ash. He's able to absorb energy, absorbing energy from all kinds of sources in order to increase his power, absorbing attacks from opponents and returning it 1,000,000 times over, and he's even able to absorb energy directly from opponents, like when he absorbed gamma radiation from the Hulk's body. He's a powerful telepath, telepathically manipulating an entire planet, and he's been able to resist Psychic Blast's Moondragon that had earlier put Professor X into a coma. Finally, just like Sentry, Silver Surfer also has the power of matter molecular manipulation. He's done simple stuff like transforming gold into sand or a rock into gas, but he also rebuilt New York City, and even rebuilt Stormbreaker, a powerful magical object. He's also used this in more offensive and aggressive ways, atomizing opponents or transforming them into other objects. Then, to top it all off, Silver Surfer has displayed even more powers than Sentry, like manipulating gravity, travel, manipulate time and dimensions, and even manipulating souls. But again, this isn't just Sentry versus Silver Surfer. It's Seed Sentry versus worthy Silver Surfer. And these two heroes have kind of displayed a very different level of power. You can talk all you want about their potential, or really whatever you want, but based upon what we've seen on the page, in the comics, well, it's kind of on two different tiers. Seed Sentry is powerful enough to easily kick Thor's ass, presumably could easily beat all of the Avengers, and was able to lift up Exeter the Celestial. And based upon how he compared against Rogue, it's arguable that he has more power than almost every hero on Earth. So he's freaking insanely powerful. And to top it all off, Seed Sentry can't even technically be killed. And he's shown he can just heal about any attack. Any character should really be terrified to take on Seed Sentry. And worthy Silver Surfer is really no exception. But with that being said, worthy Silver Surfer is a whole lot more scary. He's a whole lot more powerful. He effortlessly took down the Hulk, and actually did a whole lot better in his fight against the Hulk than Seed Sentry did in his fight against Thor. He killed Cosmic Ghost Rider just one strike from Mjolnir, with Cosmic Ghost Rider being able to restrain Thanos, effortlessly take blasts from Galactus, easily took on all of Earth's mightiest heroes, and King Thanos actually said he was unable to beat Cosmic Ghost Rider. In fact, King Thanos was so scared of Silver Surfer, and so terrified to face him in battle, that he summoned God Quarry Thanos to help him, along with Surtur's Twilight Sword. And King Thanos is powerful enough to kill Galactus with a single blow, and is actually taking down all the abstract beings in the universe, including the Living Tribunal and the Celestials. And Silver Surfer was the only one that he was afraid of. Basically, what we're talking about here is Silver Surfer with the power cosmic on his side, with Mjolnir, which was a little problematic for Seed Sentry in the past. He's empowered by the dark matter, the same matter that makes up the universe, and he's even got the Annihilation Wave on his side, with complete control of the beast of the Annihilation Wave. For everything that Seed Sentry is, worthy Silver Surfer is so much more. I gotta give this one to the fallen one, the worthy Silver Surfer. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Who do you guys want to see these two heroes go up against next? Sound off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe button, hit that like button, and I will see you next time.